We're going to move to the neck stretches. And as we're going to be on the floor, if you're comfortable sitting on a bolster, just remain on the bolster. And just a reminder, one of the ways to make sure that your back is straight and your chest is open is if you can just feel where your sitting bones are, you know, the bones underneath, you know, basically underneath where we feel they are touching the floor. If you can just push and you feel like your sit bones are actually grounded onto the bolster or onto the mat. So that's a really great way to make sure that we are pushing down and we're not slouching forward. Okay? So we're going to start with these neck stretches, and we are going to do lateral stretches. So a lateral stretch is basically, I'm going to tilt my head to one side as if I want my ear to come to my neck. And then to add a little to it, I bend my left arm behind my back. Be careful not to be bending like this. The neck, the spinal column is straight. I'm just tilting my head to the side. So I have a nice stretch on the left side. And I'm going to be here for 3 minutes. Okay. So perhaps when we come into the position, you might feel a little tension, which is normal. Neck and shoulder tension are intimately connected. In fact, most people who go to the doctor with shoulder pain, they often have to treat the shoulder and neck pain together because they're so connected. So often if you have shoulder pain, if you do a few of these stretches, it should help with the neck and vice versa. And while you're here, just try to incorporate that breathing. So breathing 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Now slowly move your left hand down to your knee and bring your neck up. I'm just going to stay here for half a minute just to relax. Remember, this is the rebound posture. Just a moment for the connective tissue to return to its space. Now we're going to move to the other side, so the same thing, tilting to the left. And then we can move the right arm behind us, bending the elbow. Remember, we're not tilting to the side, keeping the spinal column straight. And just feeling that, really feeling that stretch. Of course, we have to be gentle with the neck. But this is what yin is about. It's trying to find that middle ground between something that's a stretch and something that is painful. Because of course, if we stretch something, there will always be some tension. And that's what we are doing with these postures. We are stretching this connective tissue. We are stressing it so we can slowly and gently feel the tension moving away. So, no abrupt movements, but strong and long, basically. And now slowly bring the right arm and the right hand onto the knee, and then bringing the head up. And then just sitting and looking forward for half a minute, just to relax there. And just notice the sensations. Notice the sensations in both sides of your neck. Also notice if one had more tension than the other, which might be anatomical, but it also might be something that happened during the day. Maybe you are tensing one side more than the other. Okay. So let's move now to the first posture where we'll be on the mat. So if we just move the bolster away, this posture we did last week, or the last class. It's one we do quite often. It's the child's posture, but the child's posture with the arms above. So remember, if you have an issue sitting on your heels, you can put a little blanket there. If you feel pain in this part, so the top of your feet or your knees, you can place a blanket there or some type of covering. Yeah, you can lean on that. And then also, remember, we can have a block. So I'm going to come down and I can lean my head on the block and my hands stretched out. And also the other option, opening your legs, opening your knees, is another option, because for some people it's very uncomfortable to lean the stomach on the thighs. So if we open, it's another option. Okay, so find a comfortable position. We're going to be here for 5 minutes. So it's important to find the option where you are going to be able to maintain that position for 5 minutes. So don't choose one that, from the first few seconds feels uncomfortable. Choose one that feels comfortable. Yeah. So Remember, the arms are coming out and the head can be on a block if that's comfortable for you, or it can be on the mat. Yeah, so wherever you are, just relaxing into that position. Because we have our arms out, we are starting to warm up the shoulders for the posture that's coming afterwards. And we are also relaxing the back, which is a great thing to do if we have been sitting all day. It's a nice restorative posture to relax the back. And you could also feel, if your arms are out, you could also feel there's a stretching of the area from your armpits down to your elbows. So let's take our last 3 breaths here. And very slowly we're going to curl ourselves upwards into a seated position. Okay, so we're going to move now to a posture where we're going to be doing quite a lot of stretching of the shoulders, but it also opens up the back as well. And there are 2 options for this one. Some of you may remember when I was talking about when we have our arms above our head, some of us have a bone that gets obstructed when we lift the arms up above our head. And if it's painful to do that, then when we do this posture, just bring your arms out to the side a little bit. If you feel when you are in this position and your arms are in front of you, if it's painful, then just open them slightly. So I will show you how this looks, first of all. So we're going to start on all 4s. Remember, we're bringing in the abdomen, so we're not like this, we're not bowing down like this. And we're going to move the hands forward. My arms are straight out in front of me, and then I bring my forehead onto the floor. And the other option will be, if I feel pain, I'm going to open my arms and bring the head down. Okay? So we will be here also for 5 minutes. So find the option which works for you. If you are noticing any pain, yeah, then just go, open up, yeah, so moving down. So while you're in this posture, really bring your attention also to your abdomen, to your navel. Feel as if your navel is going in towards your spinal column. I like to give this cue because it's a way for people to just be aware of where your stomach is. So your stomach isn't hanging out, because really we're working on a really nice opening for the chest, but also a really nice stretch for the whole of the back. And if we have the abdomen relaxed, then we're not really getting the full benefit of this stretch. So just really feeling the shoulders opening. And warming up. And of course the arms as well. Okay, so let's take our last 3 breaths here. And now slowly we're going to just move ourselves backwards into the child's pose. And this time the arms are by our sides and we're just going to relax down with the head on the mat or on a block. The arms by our sides, and we're just relaxing the shoulders totally after this quite intense stretch for the shoulders. So just relaxing there, recovering your breath. Perhaps your breath has got a bit quick during this posture. Okay, so slowly let's move ourselves upwards into a seated position. We're going to look now at a posture which is called the eagle arms. And I'm going to show you 2 alternatives because I would like you all to try the first alternative because this one will show you if the second alternative is accessible for you or not. So if you could just have a look at what I'm doing and see if you can do the same. I'm going to start as I'm going to put my right arm over my left like this, as if I'm hugging myself. Yeah, so if you can feel if you're hugging yourself. And then I'm just going to come closer to the camera to see if you can see it. So can you see these are my shoulder blades here? And I can get my fingers to touch my shoulder blades. Maybe for you it's difficult, maybe here, right? If you are just here, if you can't get further backwards, then you are going to stay in the hugging position. This is the first option. Yeah, so if you can't touch here, then I'd just like you to stay wherever you can. And then I'm going to show you the second option. Okay, so if you can get to here, then I'm going to show you the second option, which is what we call the full version of this posture. And so that one would be, so I'm going to take my right arm on top of my left and then bring those palms together and then bring them curling around. Okay, so this is the version you could try to access. So first version is the hugging. Yeah, if you can stay with the hugging, if the hugging is accessible for you, stay with that one. The second option, the palms come together. And the third option, you curl them around. Okay? And for all the options, what I'd like you to try to do is, if you can notice, if I'm doing this option, my arms are not like this. I'm not hunching. My arms are up. Yeah, because the more we are up, the more we are pulling the shoulder blades apart. Yeah, so we're not like this, we are like that. And the same with this one. If I have my arms like this, I'm keeping them up. The elbows are not down. Yeah, so the elbows are not down, the elbows are up. So wherever you get to, this is where we should be aiming for. Okay? So try whichever option comes to you, whichever option feels comfortable for you. And we're going to be here for 3 minutes. Yeah, so remember we have the right arm on top of the left arm, either touching or interlaced. But remember, we are not crouching down, we're opening up. Yeah. Okay, so wherever you are, remember it's not a competition. In yin, the focus is very much on functional anatomy, so we're really looking at what works for your body. And so, for example, with all the adaptations that I can see here, that I'm noticing in front of me, I can see that all of you are opening up your chest. So this posture is about opening the chest. That's why I'm saying bringing the elbows up. And at the same time, we are pulling those shoulder blades apart. And why is that so useful? Because what happens when we hunch, we actually lock those shoulder blades into a really uncomfortable position. And when we are doing this one, we are opening them up. And as usual, of course, we're also helping with our breathing. So we have just 1 minute to go. So also trying to focus on that breathing technique. So breathing to far, inhaling, and then exhaling 4. And now very slowly, wherever you are, bring your hands down. And we're just going to put the hands on the knees and just sit here for half a minute, just noticing the effect. So Simon, I'd like you to sit on a bolster, because I'm noticing because you're not sitting on a bolster, your pelvis isn't tilted forward, and that really affects opening your chest. So the more the pelvis is tilted forward, the more we can open up the chest. Yeah, that's better. Okay, right. Okay, so let's move now to the other side. So this time, if you're doing the hugging, your left arm is on the top and your right arm is below. So this is the hugging option. Remember, the arms aren't down, the elbows are up. Yeah, and the abdomen is in. Okay. And then if you are doing the other posture, we now have the left arm on top and the right one below, either touching the palms, the backs of the palms are touching, or else curling so they are touching like this. Yeah? And so in this posture, whichever posture you find accessible for you, we're going to be here for 3 minutes. Okay? And so once again, the pelvis is in. Sort of feel the navel going inwards. Remember, the elbows are up, the elbows aren't down, so we're not crouching forward. And looking ahead of us. Always in yoga, our gaze is important because our gaze indicates the focus. It helps us with the focus. It helps us to also position the body in a way that is helpful for the posture. And so, of course, once again, we're opening up the chest and we are really working those muscles that get very tight when we are hunching over. So we're doing the opposite to what we do when we hunch over. So you may find this side different. Remember, we are different. Our bodies, each side of our body is different. So perhaps you find this side with more tension or less tension. I actually find this has less tension than the other side. But this could change tomorrow. Okay, just 1 minute to go. And remember also during the yin practice, if at any stage you feel basically sharp stabbing pain, or perhaps your muscles start to shake, or there's like a tingling sensation, like an electricity in your any part of your body that's being stretched, then slowly try to come out of that posture and see if it improves, if it goes away. And if it continues, then come out of the posture completely. Because in yin, we look for a position where we are stretching, which could be uncomfortable, but it's never painful. If we have pain, then we need to move away. Because basically we are stretching connective tissue and not muscles. Okay, and slowly bringing the arms down. Ooh. Can you feel that? Can you feel something? Can you feel how it's opening up? And so let's just relax here just for a minute, because we're going to continue with the arm stretching. So let's just relax in this position just for a minute, just checking in with your body, with your shoulders, with your arms. Okay, let's move now to another position where we're actually going to have the shoulder blades in a neutral position, and this also has two options. So option one is I'm just going to hold my elbows. This is option one. Okay, that's option one. And option two, I put my hands into a reverse prayer position like this. Okay, so experiment with both of them, and the one that you find most accessible, choose that one. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. This posture is really good if you type a lot. We're using a lot of the wrist tendons, and by doing this position, we're really giving them a really nice stretch. So if you can access that, that's fine. If you can't, it doesn't matter, because if you are like this, what is happening is we are once again, we have the scapula open and we are being able to stretch that area. So whether you get to here or you get to here, the effect is the same. The only difference is that the wrists have more of a stretch if you're in this position than if you are in this one. Okay, so remember bringing your gaze forward. And also trying to keep the abdomen in. So these postures, they may look quite simple, but they're actually quite challenging, because it's also requiring you to keep your back straight. And so that's quite challenging as well for the abdomen. You know, even if we are, you know, if we've been here for 3 minutes, in the other postures for another 3. So we just have 1 minute here. If you feel to have your hands like this is okay, you can then try to experiment how it feels in the reverse prayer position. You will notice different muscles being used. But if this is not accessible for you, then don't go there. Just continue where you are. Just making sure that your chest is open and you're feeling that opening of your chest. And now slowly bring your hands down and bring them to your knees. And let's just stay here for a minute, and we're then going to move to the wall. So you would just need to have a wall or something flat where you can spread your arms. We're going to be spreading the arms out. So this is the last active exercise for the arms that we're going to be doing, the arms and the shoulders. Okay, so if you're ready, if you can move yourselves to a wall, and once you get to the wall, spread your arms out. So I come to the wall, my arms are shoulder height. Bring down my left arm, my right arm remains, and then slowly I start to shift myself around. Okay, so I will be here for 3 minutes. So the beauty of this position is you go as far as you can. So when you feel the nice stretch, you stop. If you feel it's too much, you can just move your feet again so you're more towards the wall. So in this position, it's all about you and it's all about the stretch you feel. So you can, it's really nice because you can adjust the position according to the stretch you feel and the stretch you want. So as I said, your head can be resting against the wall. That will give you a bit more of a stretch, or the head can just be straight up. Yeah, so more against the wall, you'll give yourself more stretch. So once again, we're opening up the chest and we're giving a really nice stretch to the shoulders and to the arms. Getting rid of all that tension. Okay, so we have 1 minute to go. And now slowly move yourself towards the wall and bring that right arm down. Okay, let's just stay here just for half a minute just to recuperate, because I'm sure some of you are feeling, wow, that's quite a lot of stretch. Perhaps even your hand was starting to tingle. Because it's quite a stretch depending on how much you put into it, how much stretch you give it. Okay, and then we stretch out the left arm now, the shoulder weight, left arm stretched out, and then slowly I'm going to move towards my right. Either with my head resting on the wall or my head just straight up. And once again for 3 minutes. If at any stage you feel it's too much of a stretch, just move your feet slightly, move your body slightly, so it's not so intense. And now very slowly bring that arm down. And we can just now return to the mat. So I hope you're feeling okay. I hope you didn't stretch your shoulders too much, but you can certainly feel a really nice stretch. We're going to move now to one of my absolute favorites for releasing the chest, opening up the chest, opening up the shoulders. And this one is called the Reclining Fish. And so we have two options. If you have a block, if you have a bolster, this is the first option. The bolster you're going to put behind your back. And for this one, because we are relaxing totally, the legs will be straight. So the legs are straight, and I'm just going to lean back onto the bolster with my arms open and my shoulders relaxed, and that's it. This is my reclining fish if I have a bolster. Now, if I have a block, if I have blocks, the other option is I create a T out of the blocks. So the T is going to be under my shoulder blades, and the other block will be under my head. So if you have blocks, I would really recommend blocks more than bolsters, but if you don't have blocks, then go for the bolster. And enjoy this. I love this. This is so amazing because it's just the greatest way to relax. After we've been doing all this shoulder work, opening up the chest, this is a really fantastic passive way to do everything that we've been doing before. And it's actually also very restorative. So once again, we're opening up the chest, opening up the abdomen. You can feel the shoulder blades the shoulders are basically relaxed, totally relaxed. The arms as well. And any tension that perhaps may be lingering, after a while, you'll just feel it all just melting away. So anytime you have shoulder, a sore shoulder, and you don't want to do any of the postures we were doing before, this one is a great one. It's just very restorative. And it really helps to remind us of the effectiveness of just basically opening up the chest, doing the opposite of hunching, which we tend to do so much more. And also, once again, helping with the breathing. Liberating the space of the diaphragm, the muscle that helps us to breathe. And why is it so important to breathe deeply? Because basically that helps us to breathe more in the abdomen than in the chest. The more tense we are, the more we tend to breathe up in the chest, which basically makes us more tense. And so with the deep breathing, it helps to relax us more. Okay, so we're just going to take our last 3 breaths in this wonderful position.